What's up, guys? I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, much less one with commentary, but it's just because a lot of things have been going on in my personal life. Not necessarily bad, but just things that kind of kept me away from being able to make and upload any videos. So figured now is as good a time as any to take care of some requests that I've gotten. And I think probably one of the biggest requests that I've had is at people asking what what overclock settings I'm using for my graphics card in order to achieve, the performance I'm getting in my games. So I figured I would make a video showing that. Also, I may be changing my channel name to something that encompasses my love for tech and gadgets, personal vlogs, and of course games. So just if you see a name change, I haven't gone away. I just went and changed my YouTube username. So I may or may not do that, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Excuse me. And also, I wanted to just thank you guys for sticking by me. I know I haven't been making a lot of videos lately, but so I appreciate you guys staying subscribed, and thank you for all the positive feedback that I've gotten on the videos that I've made in the past, and even for the constructive criticism, on things I can do better. So I really appreciate it. So on to the video, onto the overclocking settings. These settings are for the PNY GTX 750, not the TI model. The TI model obviously you'll be able to overclock that higher than this version, but these are just some of the settings I use that don't generate too much heat and still give me a good good performance boost. Now, a disclaimer before I begin. As you can see, when you open this program called GPU Tweak, I highly recommend using this program. I enjoy it. It's very stable, very light on memory usage, and gives you a lot of the same options that a lot of other programs give you. Plus, it's got this cool red skin, which you can also change, by the way, but I'm partial to red. So anyway, as you can see, these are stock clocks that come with the card out of the box. Honestly, those are decent settings, but for the newer games coming out, you'll still get good performance if you leave them at stock, but you can get so much more performance out of these cards by overclocking them. So don't be afraid to kind of experiment. Just do so intelligently, because you can, while these have a ridiculously high amount of overclocking headroom, there's always still a risk that you can fry your card if you don't know what you're doing, or you try to throw too much voltage at it. So just wanted to get that out of the way. And also, just like normal computer chips, graphics cards, each one is different. So you may not, the settings I have, you may find yourself having to scale down a little bit lower, or you may be able to overclock higher. It just depends on your chip. So I just wanted to say that to avoid anyone getting upset at me because they may not be able to achieve the same settings that I have here. So let's get right into it. As you can see, I'll go over the default settings, 1085, and you can see the GPU voltage is down at basically 1.169. The memory clock is at 5010, and then the power target is still at 100, and you've got the GPU temperature target at 80 degrees, and the fan speed is at 30%. And of course the display refresh rate is at 60 as normal. So these are just the base settings for you to start working from. I highly recommend you to start slowly increasing and not try to jack your settings up to what I have, because again, the settings I have may not work for you. And also a thing to note, I have dual fan cooling solution on my graphics card, which a lot of the 750s have a single fan. So that makes a difference in how much cooler your graphics card will run. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But these are the main clock settings that I like to use. It offers the performance and runs cooler than the next setting that I'm about to show you. As you can see, I've got the memory clocked. It's a 1 gigahertz overclock, or 1.4 gigahertz rather. Temperature target, I've got it 85 degrees. Fan speed is at 100. And with fan speed at 100, most of the time I never see the temperatures go over 60 to 65 degrees, which is really good. And I've got the max GPU voltage at 1.2. That's very important, because if this is too low and you set to a frequency like this, it's not going to work, and the graphics card is going to crash, and you end up having to restart your computer so that the driver can reload itself. And it's just a pain. But also I wanted to note that they do have BIOS modification programs out, and they're very easy to use if you want to try to experiment, try to get your power target higher than 100. However, while you're able to do that, and it can offer a decent performance boost outside of normal overclocking, you really want to be careful with that, because if you throw too much voltage at the card, you can definitely up your risk of frying it. So that's just something to be careful of. Now, with the GTX 750 from PNY and EVGA, since they don't require or have a 6-pin power connector, the risk of frying your card because of too much voltage is not as high, due to the fact that you're not getting your there's nothing external plugged in. It's coming straight from the PCI Express lane, so there's only so much power you can draw out of that, honestly. But anyway, before I start rambling, these are the settings. So we're going to do a couple of benchmarks so you guys can see what type of performance you can expect if your card is good to go with these same settings I have. I'm going to minimize that, and I'm going to run the Heaven benchmark settings. I'm not going to go extreme with it. I can normally run extreme settings when I'm not recording, but for some reason when I try to record and run at those settings, it's just a little bit too taxing. Probably due to the 1 gigabyte of frame buffer, because the Shadowplay is using the graphics card to record. So keep that in mind when you guys are recording and running benchmarks. So anyway, you got DirectX 11, of course. Got it on high, tessellation is on moderate, and anti-aliasing is off. And I don't run full screen. I don't really need to. So here comes the benchmark. It's loading up. Okay, so as you can see, it wasn't too bad, and those are pretty pretty moderate overclock settings. Nothing too crazy, but at the same time, when running real world games, you'll definitely see a performance boost from using those settings. And the driver, ran stable, no crash, nothing like that. So the next test that I'm going to run is 3D Mark Firestrike. Not going to upgrade that right now. Now, of course, naturally we're going to run the basic Firestrike. Now, because I'm recording, I don't know how exactly it's gonna perform, but so I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. So, pardon any stuttering or anything like that. I haven't recorded since one of the other Shadowplay updates or the Geforce Experience update. Some have been buggy and some have been a really nice, clean update that improved performance. But it's just one of those things. I just wanted to kind of do it on the fly so we can really see real world results here. Also, guys, before this starts, we'll be most likely getting a new graphics card soon and a new power supply. I just don't know when, but you guys will be the first to know as soon as I do. So let's get into it. yeah, I'm definitely noticing a drop in frames from my normal runs when I'm not recording. Normally runs anywhere from 20 to 25 frames per second, so the recording is definitely having an impact on this benchmark. Okay, well this is more like it. It's not, this is more like it. It's the pre-rendered cutscenes that seem to be suffering the most. Yep, as you can see, pretty nice frame rate for this benchmark, especially running at 1080p. And for just having a 1 gigabyte frame buffer. However, I'd like to note the more RAM you have, the better performance you're going to get, because the graphics card will share some memory. I think also the audio capture is probably draining some performance as well, but it's well worth it. I mean, it's still performing pretty decent, especially for a graphics card in the price range of, you know, $129. It was $150 when I bought it, but naturally, as newer graphics cards come out, the price is going to drop, obviously, but you're still getting a great value. And the I mean, look at this. It's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. I tend to like this test a little bit more, because if you can still get double-digit frame rates while it's running physics and on-screen graphics, then you know, you've got a pretty strong GPU on your hands. So I really think NVIDIA and PNY did a great job. So here comes the last test. We'll see how we do. If it can run all the way through, then I'll be very happy. Still not completely terrible for having physics and drawing the on-screen graphics at the same time. And again, for what this card is, it's quite impressive, actually. So I got 3,372. Normal score that I get is usually well over 4,000. So yeah, the screen recording and also the fact that I'm not running it the graphics card's maximum overclock, that makes a difference. So, but 3,372 is still really not too terrible for everything that I have running right now. Again, usually get well over 4,000. So this is just a gauge of what you can expect on the benchmarks should you decide to use the same overclock settings that I have. And so you guys have seen the videos that I've posted of GTA 5 and in The Witcher 3. So you're really going to get still great performance out of this by overclocking the graphics card. But again, please note the things that I said at the beginning of the video before you begin. So I hope you guys liked this video. Hope it wasn't too long, but I felt like this video really needed to be made. So if you guys liked it, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it, and tell me why. Tell me what I could do better. And keep your eyes open for new videos coming from me soon. And if you're not a subscriber yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see and stay in touch with all the new videos that I'm going to be coming out with soon. And so I really appreciate you guys. Take care and have a good weekend.